Welcome to the Geekcentric podcast, and welcome to our spoiler-free review of the upcoming Disney Plus movie, Hocus Pocus 2. Lock up your children, because the witches are back! What's up, geeks? My name is Kev, and it's time to grab your brooms, or vacuums, or Swiffers, or Roomba, really whatever cleaning instrument you'd prefer, as we take flight and head back to Salem for a sequel 29 years in the making. That's right, the Sanderson Sisters are back, baby. So come, little children, as we take thee away for our spoiler-free review of Hocus Pocus 2. The movie's set to curse viewers on September 30th. A huge thanks, as always, to Disney Plus Canada for letting us take a look early so we can give you all of our thoughts on this long-awaited follow-up. We're so glad you could join us today. If you are joining us for the first time, well, we're Geekcentric, a podcast focusing on the world of TV, movies, games, toys, and collectibles. Oh, and all things geek-centric, of course. And now, I could never brew up a bubbling batch of magic like this on my own. So, joining me on the program are a couple of wenches, trollops, some buck-toothed, mop-riding fireflies from hell. Darcy and Nate, brothers, how are we this enchanted evening?
His mouth is sewn.
His mouth is sewn shut. We gotta undo that curse.
Oh, thank you. I'm doing much better now that I can talk. Holy! Oh, that poor Butcherson boy, man. Like, to have to live with that. I guess he was kind of chilling underground for whatever, but
doesn't that make it even worse?
I guess it does. I'm doing good, man. I'm stoked. I want to just right off the bat, though, just mention I never grew up with the original movie. I didn't really watch it. I was 3 when it came out. So for me, like, getting to watch that and then watching this one back to back was pretty stellar. It was a pretty good experience, not having to wait that entire time to kind of get what all these other diehard fans have been waiting. You know, how long has it been now? Like 29 years?
29 years. Not quite 30. Not sure why they couldn't wait one more year, but it's fine. It's fine.
Yeah.
Well, I did, before we got into our review for the sequel, I did want to sort of touch base on sort of what our levels of familiarity are with the original Hocus Pocus. I mean, I remember seeing the original 1993 movie in theaters with my mother, and since I've watched it, I'm not going to say every single year around Halloween, but I'm probably around my 20th, 21st viewing of the movie.
Wow.
It's just sort of ingrained in my Halloween traditions, and now watching it in mid to late September is a little odd because I usually watch it a lot closer to the Halloween time, but nope, this is just a staple for me. And then as if my wife wasn't perfect enough already, she also loves the movie, so it's become part of our Halloween tradition as well. So yes, I'm very, very much in love with this movie and was just beyond words excited for a sequel. Now, Darcy, how about yourself? I remember we were talking about this movie once, and you said you were too scared to watch it as a kid, but have since ventured and gotten the bravery to check it out.
Yes, I mean, growing up in the Hudson house, as I'm sure you're aware, we're a group of scaredy cats. We don't really like the scary stuff at all, really, in this house. So. Yeah. Even the thought of a Halloween movie when I was younger, I stayed away from it. I mean, in my later years, I've come around to watching more, horror movies and stuff like that in general. But I'm more like Nate in that my first viewing of Hocus Pocus is only a few years ago with one of my good buddies who loves the movie and was shocked that I'd never seen it. So sitting through it with him made it a lot more tolerable. But I loved the movie as soon as I watched it. I can understand why there's such a nostalgic love for the cheesy Halloween movie. It's great in all its cheesiness.
Yeah, it's interesting to see the cult following and cult, that it's sort of so much respect has garnered, this movie has garnered, and like to I even got to see the Sanderson sisters perform at Disney, not the exact ones, but I got to see the I guess what do they call them at Disney, the friends of the characters or whatever, performing on stage. And so they were there, and I remember just people were going insane. They were going nuts for it. I think this was the 25th anniversary at the time that I was there, and yeah, I couldn't wrap my mind around like why, and so getting to watch these these movies, I kind of get it. It's
okay.
they're pretty
okay,
fantastic.
I was excited about that because it's one thing to watch this movie with 30-plus-year-old or 20-plus-year-old nostalgic glasses on. It's always tough to sort of gauge whether a movie that's older is actually really, really good, if it actually holds up, or if you're just so biased for it. So I was so excited for you to be watching it this late in the game to see whether you would embrace it and whether it still had that first-time charm, and it sounds like it does.
Yeah, it definitely does. And I won't say that I wasn't going in being like, okay, this is going to change my life. But like at the same time, it was, you know what? I think Bette Midler in that original movie, and obviously we'll get to talking about her in this one as well, but she's a real life Disney villain in the movie. Like, she is the like, forget about all the new live action Disney stuff that's going to come out and going to have villains in it. Bette Midler did it first and did it right, because she was absolutely phenomenal. And I think Sarah Jessica Parker and Kathy Najimy as like sort of her sidekicks were fantastic as well. And I'm stoked that we sort of with this sequel, we're getting another chance to sort of see those characters fleshed out even just a little bit more. Yeah, man, I had a lot of fun, a lot of giggles, a lot of laughs, and I will say more laughs on the sequel than on the first one, but we'll get to it.
Awesome. No, I can't wait to hear about that. And yeah, what's really neat is Bette Midler's gone on the record of saying that her playing Winifred is her favorite role she's ever had. That's the most fun
awesome.
She's ever had. And just talking about the movie, the original, really quickly, still, when it came out in '93, it was basically a flop. It only made about $39 million in theaters, and most people probably assumed that it would just sort of disappear into the vault, never to be seen again. But like you said, Nate, it's garnered a huge following over the years, thanks to home video sales and then repeated playings on TV every year around Halloween.
Oh, I'm sure Disney Channel. That's like Disney Channel all over that around Halloween. Right?
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. But like to the point where they do have the Sanderson Sisters spectacular during Halloween at the Disney parks. There was a 25th anniversary reunion where the original cast all got back together to share some stories and everything. So yeah, it's definitely taken on a life of its own and become a Halloween staple. But let's jump into our thoughts really quickly. I'll give us a little synopsis of this sequel. The upcoming sequel takes place 29 years after the Sanderson sisters were thwarted by Allison, Max, Danny, and Binks the cat. This time around, 3 high school students must work together to stop the Sanderson sisters, who have returned to Salem once again looking for revenge. The film was written by Jen D'Angelo and directed by Ann Fletcher. The film sees the return of Bette Midler, Kathy Najimy, Sarah Jessica Parker, and Doug Jones, while welcoming newcomers Whitney Peake, Lilia Buckingham, Belissa Escobedo, Hannah Waddingham, Tony Hale, and Sam Richardson. All right, let's just get right in. Let's get to our thoughts. Did this work? Was it worth the wait? Are we happy we got a sequel? Did it pay off?
Yeah, and sorry, just really quickly, I don't know if you said it there, Kev. Thanks to Disney Plus Canada for getting us this movie in advance to watch. Because, dude, again, getting to double bill it, I was like, let's go. And the fact that I was like, I go from Disney Plus to our Screeners app was just fantastic to be able to jump back and forth. Dude, this sequel was fantastic. I think it's a sequel in every way, and it builds upon the original in every single aspect. And I totally thought it was warranted. I was a little worried kind of coming into it. I'm like, okay, here we go. Like, it's, what are we, like another reboot culture cash grab, like, let's see what they do. And well, I will say the narrative is cheesy Disney Channel level, sort of feels like they were maybe writing to get towards certain moments. Like, they had like a lot of ideas, like, oh, wouldn't it be great if we saw the Sanderson sisters do this? Or wouldn't it be great if we had the new cast do this? And then they were like, cool, how do we write the story to then bring them to that point? It did feel like that at times. I was just smiling and giggling and laughing too much to care. I'll be honest with you. I had a really good time with this one.
Yeah, 100%. totally worth the wait and totally deserved. I almost want to see more in this universe because they've done such a good job of paying homage to the original one with all the jokes and references they slip in while, like Nate said, building towards a new destination in mind and kind of reshaping what we thought of the first movie as a whole. So I really enjoyed everything that this sequel brought to the table. So I can't wait to, talk more about that with you guys.
Yeah, I mean, I was all set to sort of have my heart broken and be disappointed. I just thought there's no way they're going to be able to capture what worked in that original film, and I was just so pleasantly surprised to see that not only clearly, the writer Jen D'Angelo just totally got it. She totally understood what worked for the film, and that was really to focus on the Sanderson sisters. And like you said, Nate, the narrative of the movie, it's pretty basic stuff here, but I think that's the least important part of this movie. It's the interactions, it's the character building, it's just everything else around the plot that's really important. And so they clearly didn't spend much time on coming up with the sort of mechanics on how the sisters can come back and why and everything, but they really did focus on the right parts with all the characters and everything. That's what really, really stood out for me.
And I think, we talk about that original movie, right, taking place in 1993, and you imagine, okay, the Sanderson sisters being, I guess, do the Captain America effect of being like shell shocked of like the world as it is then. Imagine even further now into the future, with this taking place, I think, in modern time. Yeah, man, I think one of my favorite things is the movie also does a really great job of giving us more understanding of who the Sanderson sisters were, where they came from. We get to see, a little bit into their past, and I think it's in the trailer, but, I will just quickly shout out, I think, Taylor Henderson as young Winifred was phenomenal, like absolutely spot on. Like, we're talking about how phenomenal Bette Midler is. You have to now portray a young version of that character, and I thought she did such a good job. And we don't get a ton of those scenes, but I think all three of them, I think Nina Kitchen, Juju Journey Brenner, as well, as the young Sanderson sisters were awesome. And I will say, I love, because of the juxtaposition of time, obviously with them being younger, and we get to see what's going on in their lives in Salem. You can only imagine during that time in Salem, things were not too great for them. To see that in juxtaposition with where they are now, based off the fact that they did appear in 1993, and just now they've got like a huge fandom behind them, and there's this meta component to the comedy where we're seeing people dress up as them, we're seeing people cosplay as them, and it's kind of really, it's endearing, the fact that we've got these characters that are technically the villains, but are also so many people's heroes at the same time. And I really love that about the movie. I love the heart, and I love the sort of, again, like the sort of, they are the bad guys, but also you kind of love them at the same time. And even our protagonists feel the same way. It's kind of fun.
I mean, again, that's another way that they're paying homage to that original movie, because in the original movie, we see that the history class is talking about them, and they've already had a lasting impact in that point. So just seeing how internet culture almost sort of taken that phenomenon to a whole new level is just really great. And that, again, that's a way that they're moving that old movie forward and making it more modern and current. And I loved how they pulled that off.
No, absolutely, and I think just the way that they integrated these characters into 2023, and even though it's only been 29 years compared to the 300 years that they had been gone the last time, the world has changed so much in that time that it was just a completely new experience for them to sort of get used to, and even moments where I started to get a little nervous, like, is this gonna get a little cheesy? Is this gonna go off the rails? Like, for instance, very early into the arrival of the Sanderson sisters, we get a musical number, and I thought, oh boy, are they gonna take what worked once in that original movie and just hammer it throughout this whole movie? But they instantly almost poke fun at that aspect of it, make a really great joke about it, and I was like, oh, they get it. There were so many moments where I was just like, oh, they get it. And then that was really, really amplified in a scene that takes place in Walgreens, which for me, Other than what I thought was a really terrific conclusion to the movie, the scene in Walgreens is just by far the best part of the movie for me. That was just laugh out loud fun the whole time.
Yeah, and I wanted to shout out like the new cast, right? Whitney Peak, Belissa Escobedo, and Lilia Buckingham. I think we didn't get a ton of Lilia Buckingham, which is by design with the narrative, which you'll see. But I will say, for the three of them, the moments where we did get to see those three shine were really fantastic. And I think they do a really good job of sort of, I guess, carrying forward this legacy, if you will. And there's just a moment with the three of them where you see them as a silhouette. And it made my heart so happy to see that moment. And I think it's moments like that, Darcy, where when you say, like, I could totally see this going forward. I could totally see this going forward with those three, and moving on and moving into a Disney Plus series. I think would be really, really fantastic. Even if it was just 6 episodes here for the the next Halloween, and then the Halloween after you get another 6 or something like that. I think would be really, really fantastic, because I think the cast, especially the younger cast, has more to give, and I think there's more story there that we can get with them. I will say Sam Richardson. I'm a huge Sam Richardson fan. I've been loving a lot of stuff. Obviously, Werewolves Within was one of the first movies that we started officially covering movie reviews here on the channel, and he's in that. And he's fantastic in that as well. But him as Gilbert, I will say that was probably my only part of the new cast where I kind of wanted a little more for him. I felt like he was kind of put to the sidelines, both him and Doug Jones, which thankfully we got more Billy Butcherson in this than in the first one ever. And I was not expecting as much as we did, but they're so great. They were so fantastic in the little moments that we had with them. And I get that the movie's about, our new trio and the Sanderson sisters, but I would have liked just a little bit more with them because of just, again, how fantastic they were.
But I almost think that the way the movie sort of wraps up and the direction they could go in the future, the focus almost does seem like if they are to continue, it will change, and that could open up the possibility of them perhaps having a bigger role, because they did just make a really fun comedic pairing. And like you said, it was awesome to see Doug Jones, who is so terrific in the 3 or 4 bits of dialogue he gets as Billy Butcherson in the original. So for him to sort of really get to chew into this one a bit more and really embrace the role a bit more was, I thought, a lot of fun. And then Tony Hale, he just plays really sweet, cute characters all the time, and it's
he's
no
so
different
nice.
here.
He's Forky in real life, dude. He's Forky in real life. That's what that man is. And in this movie, it's no different. When he popped up, I just instantly started just giggling and laughing, and he is such a nice person in this movie. I feel for the guy the entire time.
Absolutely. And then I did mention earlier that there are a few music numbers, probably the biggest being during the closing credits of the movie with the Sanderson sisters, and I can already see at the next Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween Party this new song sort of becoming a staple of that event. I thought that was a great job. Huge, massive props to Bette Midler. That wonderful woman is 77 years old. So to see her out there, she didn't look like she aged a day from the 93 movie. It was we were just taken aback by that. Really, that really stood out for me.
Yeah, it was I will say more movies need to do the end credits musical number thing. Can we just get more? Maybe it's my nostalgia glasses on right now, my 90s nostalgia glasses, but dude, it was so delightful to kind of get that little extra from that moment in the movie. But yeah, man, I think, and there's a musical number in the movie as well. And I got chills. I literally got chills up the arm, just watching this moment. And I'm like, I did not expect that to happen. And I also didn't expect to feel some of the things I felt throughout the movie in terms of how heartfelt this movie can get at times. I mean, with the new cast and the Sanderson sisters, we do see the themes of sisterhood really at play here, and we see on both sides we see dissent, like the dissent of seeing that sort of break apart and coming back together, and in different ways, obviously in a little bit more of a comedical way with our Sanderson sisters than with our three new protagonists. But I don't know, man, I wasn't expecting to almost get teary-eyed at the end. I don't know.
Even I was quite moved by the finale of the movie, and I just thought, in the first one, it really is all about Winifred and her two lackey sisters, and here that relationship is explored so much, and the power of sisterhood is really explored really nicely, especially as the movie comes to a close. It hit me in the heartstrings a lot more than I expected a movie like this to do. And now the movie isn't without its hiccups, its hiccup pickups, if you will. Geez, that was a stretch. So was there anything?
I was like, in my head, Kevin, I'm like, I think that's another. Is that another movie? Hiccup pickups? Like, is that a multiversal version of Hocus Pocus? I love it.
I will say I wish I hadn't said it, but it's in there. It's etched in history.
There we go.
Was there anything about the film that just didn't quite stick the landing?
If anything, I think like what Nate said was a bit of the underutilization of some of the characters that they introduced. And again, with the way that they leave things off, I am hopeful that we do get more stories explored in this universe, either through another movie or, like Nate was saying, a series. But it was the underutilization of some of the bigger names that kind of drew me into the sequel that kind of had me a bit, disappointed by the end of it.
Yeah, I was, as I said, I'm a big fan of Sam Richardson, both from Werewolves Within, but he also has a guest spot on Ted Lasso, and he's absolutely phenomenal. And speaking of Ted Lasso, Hannah Waddingham is in the trailer for this movie. I was just hoping so much more. I completely, and listen, part of this is my own, speculatory dumb fan brain of being like, she's gonna be our main villain throughout the movie. She's not, and I can confidently say that. But I wanted so much more of her because she is so fantastic. And for the brief moment that we get her in this movie, you're just like, oh, I completely buy who you are and where you are in this moment. And I really do hope. I think that would be another phenomenal. She would be a really great conduit to bring from the movie to a series if they ever plan to do that, because she was excellent for the brief moment we got. But I think that's kind of it as far as like gripes. I think the only other thing I kind of mentioned was the narrative being silly at times, but in a sense of like, just kind of to the point where you're just kind of, I don't know. They made some odd choices. I think to sort of, the three of our main protagonists, there's a bit of a conflict between them that we're kind of just thrusted in. We're sort of just put into the middle of, and they don't really go too far into that to give us enough of sort of any sort of payoff from it. So I did find that there were moments where I was just a little let down at times by them not going too far with some of these story beats, but at the same time, you get the Sanderson sisters, doing a big musical number, and you're like, I'm happy again. So again, there was a lot where I kind of was just like, I don't know, this is feeling more Disney Channel original movie than Disney Plus movie for me, and at times that was a really great thing, and at times it wasn't.
Absolutely. I mean, there are certainly some moments where characters make decisions, like you said, or get from one place to another that really don't make sense. But then you get, and it's all about just getting to beats that have obviously been sort of developed before the story was right. Ironed out. And then all of a sudden you get a ring of salt and an unlikely rescue from within said ring of salt, and you're like, I don't even care how or why we are in this garage. I'm just happy we're here and this is happening because it's brilliant and a lot of fun. I have to say, I think it's kind of amazing that here we are and have so little to nitpick about this movie when, just given we talked about the reception the original movie got and the fact that it took so long for it to come along. This sequel, I don't think, had any right to just work as well as it did. So speaking of that, I think at this time, I should say, it's time to make a stop at the Town Magic Shop and give our final thoughts and scores for the film. Today, we'll be doing that on a scale of 1 to 5 flatteringly filtered selfies.
What is it? Flatteringly
filtered selfies.
Okay. Yeah, I think, you know what? I kind of have already said it all. It's if you're a Hocus Pocus fan, you're gonna freaking love this movie. Like, if you were, like, I can only imagine, right? Like, again, I enjoyed what I got out of the first one. I think this, in my opinion, I actually like this movie more than the first one. And that being said, I'm not looking at it through the tinted glasses of, like, I saw it when I was a kid in the theater or whatever, right? But I will say, if that is you, and you've been waiting for this will not disappoint you. This will absolutely meet and potentially exceed your expectations. And honestly, it's a lot of fun. I was giggling too much to have that critic hat too tightly wound up on my head of pushing my glasses up and the plot line is not, it's fine. It's just, I was having too much fun with it. It's so lighthearted. It's such a nice time. And again, there's the themes of sisterhood and the themes of friendship that are so much more potent in this movie than in the original. And I think they really knocked it out of the park. I think they did something really special with this movie. And I think for a lot of families, this is going to potentially be the one that they'll revisit on Halloween after Halloween after Halloween on Disney Plus. So yeah, man, I was not expecting to be as happy with this movie as it made me, but I think, again, so much of that is Bette Midler, Sarah Jessica Parker, Kathy Najimy. Their physical comedy is just insane. Doug Jones is just a master at physical comedy with Billy Butcherson, and then bringing on our new characters with Sam Richardson and Whitney Peak Belissa and Lilia. I think, again, there's a really great pairing of all these people together to give us the old, to give us the new, and to kind of set us up for hopefully what we'll get is as the HPCU, is that what we'll call that? Hocus Pocus cinematic universe. Definitely not the hiccup pickup cinematic universe. But I honestly, I was going into this movie ready to give it the same score that I gave the first one, which is 3.5 out of 5. I'm going with a 4 out of 5 flatteringly filtered selfies. I think this movie's great. Really, really good stuff.
Awesome. How about yourself, Darce?
Yeah, I mean, I like going after Nate because he says pretty much everything I'm thinking, because I really enjoyed this movie for pretty much everything he listed. And again, I did a double feature as well where I watched the first one, then sat down right away and watched the second one. And watching it like that, being the Easter egg looking guy that I am, there is so much in this movie for true fans of Hocus Pocus that I think that alone you'll want to rewatch to see what you missed the first time, because there's so much crammed in there. Yeah, I like it more than the first one as well. And again, that's because I don't have the nostalgic glasses, but that's a good thing because this movie is phenomenal in everything that it does in telling a heartwarming story with a lot of laughs and goofs along the way. So I'll be giving this one 4.5 out of 5
Wow.
flatteringly filtered selfies. I really enjoyed it, and I'm going to be one of those people who watches it Halloween after Halloween. This will be my Hocus Pocus.
That is flatteringly filtered, Darcy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That is a high score, but I do like what you said there, Nate, in that it was just so sweet. It was just so lovely. It was just so fun that this is one of those ones where you do sort of loosen up those, the reviewer inside and just sort of enjoy it. And, the first one's always going to be near and dear to me. It's always going to sort of hold that top spot. But I think the biggest compliment I can give the film is that while I went into this sequel just hoping that it didn't disappoint me and let me down and somehow tarnish the mystique of the original, but I think it's safe to say I enjoyed this movie so much that it will now be part of my annual Halloween watching. The two Hocus Pocus are going to be watched every year, and I can't wait to share both of these movies with my daughter in a few years once she's old enough to get in on all the Halloween fun. So, yeah, I think the fact that it's instantly cemented a place in that sort of annual Halloween celebration is just kudos to the entire crew behind it. Thank you to Disney for, letting these people who clearly love the original make the film that the fans deserved after all of this time. I'll go right in between you guys and give it a nice 4.2 out of 5 flatteringly filtered selfies.
I will say, and this isn't a spoiler, this is from the first movie, but that Thackeray kid, I'm sorry, his parents got what they deserved for naming that kid Thackeray with a TH. Are you kidding me, dude?
I don't think that requires both their kids dying. That
No,
seems pretty
dude,
dark, man.
listen,
That's a harsh
at the end of the
punishment for that
day,
name.
at the end of the day, they're letting their kids play out in the forest. They know there's witches around. They know what they were doing, and they named the kid Thackeray. So you know what? The fact that they had to rename him Binks the cat, like use his last name because they didn't want to say Thackeray the entire time. I get it. Okay. So
that is true that they just started calling him by his last name instead of the ridiculous name.
Thackeray. Stupid.
That's awesome.
Anyways, yeah.
Well, there you have it, our spoiler-free review for Hocus Pocus 2. The movie conjures its way onto Disney Plus on September 30th. Thanks again to Disney Plus Canada for giving us an early look, and a huge thanks to you for tuning in wherever you listen to podcasts. If you haven't already, be sure to subscribe and leave us a 5-star review, or we might just have to steal your soul. We aren't getting any younger, after all. Now, we'd love to know, are you as excited as we were to go on another haunting adventure with our favorite witches? You can let us know at wearegeekcentric@gmail.com, or if that's a bit too much like being cursed and having your mouth sewn shut a la Billy Butcherson, you can also hit us up on Twitter at GeekcentricYT and on Instagram at wearegeekcentric. As always, we have plenty of awesome content to check out. Why, this week alone, we have a series of interviews that will further help you get ready for the big premiere of Hocus Pocus 2 that comes out later this week. Nate, Justin, and I were lucky enough to sit down with director Ann Fletcher, as well as stars of the film Sam Richardson and Doug Jones, and Whitney Peake, Lilia Buckingham, and Belissa Escobedo. Keep an eye out for those. We also have 2 watch clubs on the go. That's right, not 1, but 2. Woo. Last week, we started our first watch club for Disney Plus's Andor, which covered the first 3 exciting episodes. And we're also right in the thick of our watch club for Disney Plus's She-Hulk Attorney at Law. And you know what, guys? There's just a ton of other awesome stuff for you to check out wherever you listen to podcasts. So please do. And again, positive reviews all day long. We love it. But until next time, thank you for joining us. And as we say...
Just before we say what we say, I want to be Kathy Najimy. I want to be Mary Sanderson, because there's 3 of us here. So I think I want to be Mary Sanderson. I'm cool with that. I want to ride around on a vacuum or whatever. But then, Kevin, I was thinking that you would be Winifred, but I actually think you're going to be Sarah Sanderson, because Darcy, with your hair the way it is, I think you could put that up. You dye that red. That's a Winifred hairstyle right there. I don't know.
That requires a lot of hairspray. I don't know if I have the money for that.
Oh, dude, we can figure it out. It's magic. We just use magic, dude. Don't worry about it.
We'll take a trip down to Walgreens and figure it out for you. Maybe eat a few face masks along the way. But no, just as a brief, a little Halloween spoiler. Since watching the movie, Sarah and I were sitting there with Robbie and enjoying ourselves, and we thought, you know what? We had an original plan for Halloween, and we're switching it up. The 3 of us are going as the Sanderson Sisters, and
that's
so
fantastic.
I'll be taking on the role of Mary. Sarah, of course, will be Sarah, and little Robbie will be leading the way as Winifred. I think that's going to be a lot of fun. We're very excited to do that.
I love it.
So thanks to Disney Plus for just bringing the Hocus Pocus magic back into the holiday season. Okay, guys, we got to run, but as we say,
love ya.
Get home safe, guys.
Laters.